Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. One of the most commonly asked questions on my channel is why silver and not gold, especially for the new people into the world of precious metals. So hopefully by the end of this video you will have a better understanding on why we stack silver, the more opportunistic, highly potential asset. And before we start, I do want to mention I do post daily videos, so if you're new to this channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button. Make sure to like this video. Let's go for 150 likes. So let's jump into it. So silver and gold are both a widely used asset. And I use the word asset because a lot of people try to put silver in the category of a commodity. It's used more for jewelry, more for coins, which is actually the opposite. Gold is more of a commodity and silver is more of an asset. Gold is used more for jewelry, more for coinage. Silver is used more for technology in our laptops, our cell phones, dental alloys, space equipment, solar panels. It's used to purify water. It's used in medical wall paint. It's used for so many different things, and that makes it a very tangible and highly beneficial asset that industries need. We've actually seen an increase in industrial demand for silver, and they're actually paying premiums now for silver because they know that the supply is actually diminishing. And that's something I want to mention for a second. The silver production has been being cut back by the hundreds of millions of ounces over the last 7 years. Mexico, Peru, and Chile, the top three producers of precious metals, have been abandoning silver mines, which is going to cause very, very, very drastic consequences sooner than later. This means that as demand for silver is rising, the supply is diminishing, is lowering. We know that low supply, high demand, what does that do? It shoots the price up. So silver from a supply and demand side, or a supply and demand scale, it really has a lot of potential to explode in price just from this alone, not going over any of the several different other factors and topics I'm also going to be explaining in this video. So just alone, supply and demand is extremely valuable and insightful to see if you're trying to look where an asset is headed in the future for its price, or where the markets could be headed. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the gold to silver ratio. How many ounces of silver does it take to equal 1 ounce of gold? Before we go into this, though, we have to talk about how often, or what's the ratio compared silver compared to gold that comes out of the ground. It's roughly 8.8 to 1. So every 8 ounces of silver, we get 1 ounce of gold out of the ground. That's digging it out. Silver is actually a lot more complicated and harder to find. It's almost like trying to, the miners described it as trying to dig out the veins of the Earth's crust by guessing, and a lot of silver is actually found by accident, bypassing, when they're digging out lead, zinc, or gold. And this is because silver isn't as profitable as gold. As silver prices are lower, miners are chasing the dollar, they're chasing the greenback, and they're going to be looking to whatever is going to make them the most money, the most profits. But they don't understand, or maybe they do, they just don't care because they're chasing the dollar, is that we need silver. So yes, they might be making more money finding other metals, but if they're not filling or fulfilling the silver supply as the demand is rising, especially as, prices start rising, new investors start coming into the world of precious metals. As stock market volatility rises, new money, new investors, new demand for silver is escalating prices, which also in return means the demand is rising. But if the supply can't meet that, you can already see how serious that's going to be. So anyways, going back to the gold to silver ratio, it comes out of the ground 8 to 1. But the ratio right now is 85 to 1. And yes, you heard that correctly. 85 ounces of silver equals 1 ounce of gold, even though silver is not much more common than gold. So right now, that ratio means that silver is extremely undervalued. That means that silver has a much better chance of appreciating than gold does. This means that silver has to start outperforming gold sooner than later because this ratio has to correct back down to somewhat of normal prices. Historically, the ratio was around 2 to 1. 2.5 parts silver equals 1 part gold. And then over the years, I think it was FDR came in office, he made it 34 to 1, which means 34 ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold. And now we see the ratio 85 to 1. We actually saw it up to 95 to 1 several months ago. So that means that the ratio is extremely out of whack, and that means that gold is extremely overpriced or silver is extremely underpriced. And I think it's a little bit of both. Because gold, yes, it's widely used, but for the commoditive standpoint that we're looking at it from, it should not be that expensive. Especially since silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity. Silver performs better than any other asset, any other metal, by far. And scientists have actually discovered a way to make silver 40% stronger without losing any of its electrical conductivity. And this is what I'm talking about. With silver's potential, with silver's fundamental value, it's much more obvious that silver is the investment that you need. That silver is what you should be investing in, not gold. If you put $10,000 in silver right now and $10,000 in gold, and in 20 years from now, the chance of silver's price, or the chance of getting profits from silver is much more likely than it is from gold. If you can have a timeline in the future and look back on today's times, it would be blatantly obvious that silver was the better purchase, that has the more potential. It would be the obvious answer. But right now, since prices are lower, people try to sweep silver under the rug, look at it as a bear market, but really it's just an opportunity to buy your silver for cheap. As prices are low, as markets are, in a bear standstill, this just means that you have a better opportunity to buy your silver for cheaper. And gold is the opposite. You could be buying your gold for really expensive right now, but if this ratio lowers, the gold to silver ratio, this means that gold is going to have to either depreciate down to silver or silver has to appreciate up to gold. And more than likely, this means that silver is going to appreciate, probably to around the $50 level, which I want to talk about, because silver is $17.50 right now. And a lot of people would say, well, $50 silver, that's impossible. What if I told you that not even 10 years ago silver was $50? Well, I wouldn't be lying. In 2011, not even 10 years ago, silver was $50. Why haven't you heard about this? Because a lot of people try to sweep it under the rug, try to downplay it. They don't tell you what's really happening. They try to keep this to themselves, just like why central banks own so much gold and silver, even though it's not used as legal tender anymore. It's not even used in our money anymore, but for some reason central banks own a lot of it. And why is that? It's almost like they know something that they don't want you guys to know. They want to hold all the value, all the power, because silver has intrinsic value, value within itself, and that's what's so important to invest in as if you're looking for something that has potential or that has something to offer for longevity from a timeless perspective. Silver's value isn't the face value, it isn't the spot price attached to it, it's the metal content inside of it. 1 ounce of silver will always have 1 ounce of silver in it, which is the value itself. It's not the $17 spot price attached to it, it's the silver inside of it that's the real value, because that's what we need to be making all of this technology, all these all these cell phones, these laptops for the cameras and the mirrors and the wall paint and the solar panels and the dental alloys and the space equipment. That's where the value is. And that's why silver has so much potential. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to smash that like button. Let's see if this video can get 150 likes. If so, It definitely will show me that you guys like this type of content. I wanted to make a video to really show new investors why silver stackers invest the way they do. Hopefully this was a very well described, descriptive, and statistical informational video that you guys were able to see and now have a better understanding on why silver has so much potential and why it's so fundamentally important to stack this. So anyways, like I said in the beginning of the video, I post daily videos. I'll probably post 2 more videos a day, so make sure you guys are subscribed if you want to be aware of the newest, freshest stuff in the world of precious metals. This is your channel. I will be busting my butt every single day to make sure that you guys are well informed and have the freshest news in the world of precious metals. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.